talking about real issues that are affecting you as an individual. Insights about financial and personal growth plus better relationships. And now, Bahati.
God bring transformation, and God is only asking, what transformation am I going to bring? Okay, so you're praying for a partner, okay, and you're not clear about exactly what you're praying for. Are you praying for his will to be done? Are you praying because there is someone that you're crushing on that you would want that person to see you? Are you praying? God is the Almighty. He hears and He knows these things before we pray. But I think God expects us to be, our faith to be organized. That we do not just because we would have said, He knows everything, so I have faith for everything. You can't have faith for everything. Because we are at different levels. So we make it easy. So I want you to be able to know what exactly are you praying for when it comes to marriage. I think when we set the goals at first, you remember what Vero did when she wrote down, I don't know if any of you remember, she was very honest that she said, I had started being a coward and going back into my shell about men, but she was saying she was praying that she will be able to be more open-minded about people that walk into her life. And to me, it made a lot of sense. Because some of us, we are praying, but we are praying for a partner, but you have been hurt in the past and you have not yet overcome that. But you're seriously praying. Your prayers are going to be biased because every time you pray this, you have the faith, but when you sit down, you're like, I have a sajja. So do you see that all that encompasses goal setting? Like it affects you because you can be able to set a goal in prayer, whatever you're praying about, but in real life undo yourself. So that means it has to be something that you're willing to sacrifice and uphold and be able to cultivate a character or habits that sustain it. Okay, so while you're praying for, and some of us are not supposed to be praying for partners. Some of us are supposed to be praying for open-mindedness. Some of us are supposed to be praying that, you know what, the past hurt should not affect my decisions, you know. And some of us should be praying that, by the way, the person that is in my hands, I don't know their hearts, but God open their heart that I will see them for who they are. And then you have to be willing to see them for who they are. Not to see them through eyes of passion and butterflies. Okay? That means you should be able to even pray that, you know what? Give me the patience to see this person. Do you see all those forms of prayers? Like you are being realistic. Like you're speaking to your best friend who knows everything and every dirty about you, and you're just open about your conversation with them and telling them that, by the way, all this time I'm the one that has been chasing the men away. So I want to be the kind who actually allows and is open-minded to see where the friendship can go. Okay? Oh, some of us should be in prayer telling God, please help me close my legs. Yes. Yeah. Like, God help me that I will just close my legs this one more time. That, you know what, I will do this according to your will. So you see that we have different prayer points as people in different places. So I hear you when you say that, the prayer partner, but I want you to dig deeper and know that what is the immediate need and the goal that I want to arrive at in as far as praying for this particular thing is concerned. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. Second was fitness. Where I work out.
You're praying for fitness?
No, like not pray.
Oh, it's another goal. I was like, you borrow me, give me your God. So that I can also pray for fitness.
Yes, so not to lose weight, but just to be fit. So I work out twice a week. The other goal is starting a consultancy firm. Yeah, and started working on registering, getting a name and registering it.
So fitness is your goal. Let's go back. Let's not go so quickly. Fitness is your goal. Like, so how are you going to know that now I am fit?
I guess it's I don't plan to stop. Yeah, but I plan to at least hit the gym and work out.
Like a lifestyle.
A lifestyle,
to create
yes.
a lifestyle.
Yeah,
out
create a
of
lifestyle,
it.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, starting a consultancy firm.
Okay.
Yeah, to be more of a research entity, because I'm a
To
researcher.
start a consultancy firm based in research.
Yeah, research.
Like
on
research
public
based on
policy issues. Yeah,
farming. Public
public
policy.
policy.
Okay, public policy. Okay. And do you know someone who has done that?
Yes, I have a colleague.
Okay. Are they thriving?
Actually, I'm part of the team, but I want
Okay.
to start my own thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you can see it's moving.
yeah, it's moving.
Okay. So at least you know the basics
You know.
of how to go about
Yeah,
it.
and I'm learning, using this time to learn.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that is a goal. Okay. Do you have a time limit for that?
Mid next year.
Mid next year.
Yes.
So what are you doing now till mid next year?
Now I'm trying to register a name with
Okay.
DRSB.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm working on now.
Okay. And job-wise, what are you doing right now?
No, I'm a researcher.
Your research, and that is what you do.
Yeah,
that
that's
is
what
how
that's
you're
what
paid.
That's what I
Okay.
do.
Okay. Okay. So that's number 3.
Yes. And I also want to buy land for commercial farming.
Okay.
Yes.
How old are you?
35.
Okay. I'm not
I'm not young.
I know.
So land for commercial
According to some
farming.
of us.
Because I don't know, it's more like a vision that God has showed me. In the future, I want to feed the hungry.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to buy 10 acres of land.
Wow.
And I do commercial farming. And then, because at least what I wrote down in that vision was to feed people, like with a balanced diet.
The needy.
Yeah, a balanced diet, at least 1 meal a day. They
Okay.
can come and eat. Yeah, so I hope to sell some of the what I will be producing, but then provide a place where we can feed the hungry.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something I see.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
number 4.
And then lastly, it's more of a personal growth thing, like mentorship, get mentorship
Okay.
to grow my confidence, my public speaking, and yes.
Okay. So what's one thing out of those that is achievable within 3 months?
Personal growth.
Personal growth.
Yes.
What are you doing about it?
I'm in Coach Fifi's focus
Here?
tribe, and
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is my first time here. Thank her for telling me about it. Yeah, and I see myself growing through this, attending and growing, and then also what we are doing as part of what Coach Fifi is doing. So I see myself between now and end of the year,
At
I'll
least
be a
to be
different
better.
person. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. I know some of you were busy praying and saying, "Temantukako." You have something to say?
So there's one that I actually skipped. I'm a binge eater. I eat unnecessarily.
Nenga, you don't look like it.
I eat.
So when some of us say we are binge eaters, like it's written all over our faces.
Okay. So
But,
I'm the kind who wakes up at 3 a.m. in the morning and cooks something.
Why aren't you putting on weight? Good.
I don't
Oh,
know,
jeez.
but I've been told with my weight, with this kind of eating, some hidden unhealthy stuff will just come up. So I need to watch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that
so-
is on your goal to make sure that you
Yeah, but
cut off some of those unhealthy
It's a struggle.
habits. I know it must be a continuous struggle. I hope you don't cross into ice cream at
I
midnight.
love ice cream. Oh my God.
And ice cream and nights are two two good friends.
No, because I
Yeah.
started it when I was depressed, so it would help me calm down. So that's where it all started from.
So you're no longer depressed.
Now I'm no longer depressed, so I'm working on it.
But now it's a comfort food. It's
Exactly.
more like Yeah, so that's a hard thing to break. But just like we said, you create healthy habits. So that when you say, when I go to bed, unless I have to use the bathroom, I am not coming out of my bed. Thank you very much. And then you turn, because when that particular time, a snack time comes, there is a way you just lose it. You know, you go over and you feel a bit hot, you kick away the blankets. You feel cold again, you cover yourself. Until the temptation to go. That is why, and at night it's so hard, because even the temptation to sin is too big. So you just have to watch yourself and then have an accountability partner, you know. Just when you feel like, you know what, I'm about to do this, you either tap on them and tell them that, because some of us are struggling with a lot, with booze, some of us are struggling with cigarettes, n'ateeka mu nsawo nga tamanyi nti kakyayaka nekookya ensawo nekamwokyezaamu n'ebisambi. Habits die hard. That is why, to counter bad habits, you have to create better habits. That is the only way. You create better habits, but they are very painful to create. And I know that we are not going to go around and talk about everyone, but why I wanted us to do that is for you to actually do the same thing. Go back and rewrite your goals. Okay? Our goals keep evolving. When you know better, you do better. Okay? When you hear a new information, you also transpose, or you go to the next level in setting that particular goal so that it can be achievable. We talk about smart goals, but some of us don't set actually smart goals. Okay? It's easier said than done. And when you're in the need of something, there is a way you just generalize something. But I want us to be in the habit of setting these goals. And some of us have experienced growth, and we're going to even experience more growth as time goes. So have your own back, okay? We have accountability, we have Focus Tribe, we have different coaches and different mentors, but be your number one accountability partner. Dream better so that you can achieve better, okay? So, and I will find time, I will know how to do it, but all of you, I will have to know what your goals are and what you're planning to do. At least the first person that broke this cycle was Vero. But Vero, are you still in alignment with your goals?
I struggled a bit. And it was because I had a lot of things I was doing, so I didn't get time to prepare my meals. You know, when you're on weight loss, you have to prepare your meals. When you don't prepare your meals, you end up buying things, ordering things, eating food that has been cooked. So I struggled, and I did that for like 5 days, like eating other things. But then I struggled to get back to the diet plan I was on. And like you said, I had to counter it with something else. I said, okay, now I'm not going to be like, okay, this is so hard for me, let me stop, let me go back. So I got something else. I started with physical exercise, because the other time I was just on diet and little. But then I started some physical exercise, and I also cut like night meals. I cut night meals because I love to eat at night. I love to eat. I can spend the whole day without eating, but at night, that is when
you're settled in mind.
Yeah, so I trained myself that when it clocks 8,
no eating.
No eating.
And how are you doing?
I feel fine. I feel comfortable. Before, I was not feeling this comfortable. There are clothes I would look at and be like, why give you out? Why give you away? But I wear those clothes now, and I feel comfortable.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see that losing track is normal. You can actually just get off the wagon, and then what you have to do is to be able to create the habits afresh. you know, and you don't have to say, let me go back to the former ones, because getting back to the former ones is very hard. Now you have to be able to juggle and wake up your memory so that you can remind it that, by the way, we were saving. So this time when you're starting, you save a big amount that you feel the loss. When you feel the loss, when you go back to saving the other former amount, then you feel like, let's katugende now. Goals are hard, but let me tell you, there is nothing that is going to come simple. You do the hard things, you create a simpler life. You do the simple things, you create a hard life for yourself, okay? And today I was just thinking about it, that, we started with deliberately selfish, but in order for someone to be deliberately selfish, you realize you have to have your own means. Wanji? You can't be selfish while begging. You can't. Like, it's just, it can't happen, because deliberately selfish says you live life on your own terms. You eat what you want. You sleep in a bed that you want. You stay in a house that you want. So how are you going to say, tontwala mukale akazigwa akalimo akagundi akayiga akebweru nga toyina kyoleta ku mmeeza? Wanje? You have to be able to cough big. Not big, like on your own level. You get it? That onawo jitumlako nogambe yonedda. Tetujja jibeeramu. Like akati omukazi yaganye okubeera mu nyumba naye mugamba nti nedda tetujja kugibeeramu, olina mmeka? Nti nina 3 za rent. Omugamba kwa 3 ngenda teekako 2 tufune ennyumba ey'emitwalo 5. Ng'obeera mu nyumba nga naawe okola ki? Ng'ogyagala. You get it? Mugamba nti sijja kulya kawunga, oyagala kulya ki? Wanji? Ye bagiguzise ki? Kubanga yajja kugamba nze nsobola kawunga, oba omuntu omulala yenna. Okay? So webanga atwa kuba kugamba we can only give you 5,000. Ate kakati wano batuwa obusente butono, ate kakati company si yajjajjaawo. Ate ne bweba yajjajjaawo era they will limit the kind of money they give you. So gagamba mumpe 15,000 zange netereka omutwalo ngende ku Javas nkole ki? Ngule chenjagala okugula. Okay? So living, you cannot be deliberately selfish. You want to put on nice, you want to smell nice, you want your children to look nice, you want to, to be respected and to respect you. Do you know that it's so hard to respect yourself when you don't have money? You end up ngaweswaziza. To respect yourself. No, you can learn to keep quiet when you need to keep quiet, but let me tell you, keeping quiet ngolina plan B. Ngachinyuma. Keeping quiet when you have a plan B. Like, bwemba sirye katogo ka mulumbe njagenda wali nkole ki? Nguleyo chengulayo. Ne wano baba batesa mu family meeting nga gamba kansirike. Ne obanga olinayo zolinayo gwagamba oyafumba bubi temumuleta. Kuba bono gamba afumba bubi yogera ki? Yogera ngo ina kuchokola ki? The way you respect yourself is waliwo bubozi byoteyongeramu, waliwo kunyiga kwotagenda kunyiga. Kwa gundi akugambye tagesigenda kwa lwa Christmas mugamba zisigazi. Wanji, like in your heart, you might not say it like that, oba mu busungu oba disrespectfully, but in your heart of hearts you'll wait for me on Christmas Day, wait for me. You will see me. I will put on something you can't even afford. Not in a bad way, you get it? Then sometimes we also need to boost ourselves and know that, by the way, there are things I can do, and by the way, bw'obanga olina sente ne bwe ziba ntono ky'otasobola kukola ogenda kivaako mu mirembe ate nga tonyiize. Togenda kukola ntondo. Ogenda gamba nti kino kye nsobola, kye ngenda okukola mu busobozi bwange, sigenda kwereega. So I want us to be able to get in the habit of setting those goals, like, seriously. Okay? Now, let's cross over, because we will go back into that. We will have enough time for Q&A today. I think let me just summarize what we talked about last time. Your appearance matters. If you're going to connect with me, your appearance what? I'm not saying genda we maleyo ogule byotasobola. No. But ekisookerwako. Because we are judges. Naturally, we are all judges. When you look at someone, you will judge them. Like you have all judged me right now. I'm a convicted fellow right now. waliwo agambye eyo blouse waliwo agambye naye engato nga sigitegedde negamba naye akaviiri ako oba akalwisizaayo. We are all judges. Ate waliwo agamba bannange nze nkafiirako. So we are all different human beings, but your appearance matters. Don't come sambala. Bannange, even dressing, like ekuweesa obuyinja, you look at someone and you take them seriously. And then someone else comes ngagamba nti oyo bwatyo nekyagenda okukola. Wali otiddeko okutuma omuntu emmere? Agamba agenda gireeta ng'agikutta atya? Tajasimuliremu. Kwegamba byonna n'obirowoozaako. Why? Because they look disorganized. But again, someone comes, by the way, ne bwaba nga talina any organizational skill in them, but they just look organized. There's a way you trust them. You even want to introduce them to people. It's easy to introduce a person that looks good. Wanji? Ne mama weesize lipstick ali eno. Omulala asaza aguddewa. You've watched a guy nga aina kyagaaya ninga malusu. You've seen those things, yes. That's why some people even don't get partners. You go for a date first time n'ogamba ono simuddira. Naye nga bambi he's a good guy. Tamanyi kugaaya. Eyo etiquette ya musukka. Agaaya omumwa, you know, he opens the mouth while chewing. And then tebamuyigiriza kuyita bantu. Yeah, because tetujja kirumamu. We all know that some banyankole can be arrogant. Aga, gwe, ayita waiter. Agamba, you by the time you call waiter like that, kati nze bwonna omanyire ogenda kumpita otya. So appearance kintu kikola ki? Kintu kikulu nnyo. The content. What have you come to say? Okay? Assertive, respectful, polite, but assertive means that you know exactly why you came. Have you ever seen someone appearing before you, but they're not so sure about what they're going to say? Kakati mbadde ngamba mbuno ate kati abo Baganda. I don't fear throwing names. Kakati mbuno. Even when someone has done, maybe you've done a job and you are supposed to be paid, the way you remind about your payment, kakati mbuno mbadde ngamba kati akasente kali kakati munange obo kalinawo. It's not about whether kalinawo basi kalinawo. You deserve to be paid. Come to me and tell me that, you know what? I've come for my money. Okay? And I prefer someone who is as straight as that. I don't want someone to come, ne bwabanga manja, atandika okwogera ku weather, ayogere ku, you know, ate seasoni, ate banange economy, ate, no, tonkoya. Tukira ku nsonga. Content matters and how you deliver it matters. So if you're going to connect, that is why we teach executives when they're going to, for networking sessions, when they're going to maybe different countries, how to network with other people, you tell them how to be precise and straight to the point. And then come go gasa. Don't come without value. Don't connect without. You can only connect when you also have value that you're bringing to the table. Say that, you know what, this is what we provide. If I am pitching about the TV station, I will say that this is what we provide. This is what we are going to bring to the table. This is what, you know, for as long as you're able to, you know, give us this kind of money. So it's about win-win. So if you're networking or if you're going to connect with someone, it has to be a win-win, even for them, okay? And then the stories that you choose to back up your content. Okay? Because your content has to be illustrated. Your content has to be backed up. Your content does not have to be, you know, when you come and say otunda gold, kakati, you know, ntunda gold, osobola kungulako gold, you know, and I will ask you gold aluwa. Then omundage nkubuuze certificate, you know, katugende je bamupimira, you know, mulabi, you have to be able to be authentic. That is why abafere are flourishing in all industries, by the way. Even in online markets, do you know that Baba Fere thrive more than the genuine people? Genuine people have not learned content strategy. That is why we talk about content strategy. Even for you as a normal person. whether you have a boutique, whether you're selling juice, even if you're marketing your services as a coach or a counselor or a public speaker, you have to have strategy. You have to be consistent. Amuferenga asobola okubeera consistent, asobola kuchekingako ne ku Christmas banange family eri etya. Naye nga azimba something agenda kuwa idea in media naye atandikira eno akuluka. Okay? But for us, we expect that the day you appear on social media, that is when they are going to say, oh, the biggest motivational speaker has arrived in Uganda. That's not going to happen. Okay? So your stories have to be consistent, and you have to cultivate a relationship in order for connection to actually happen. Okay? And that is where most people beat us, because when you cultivate that relationship with me and I connect with you, even if it's online and I have never heard you say anything, I will buy from you, because none of us wants to buy from strangers. We all want to connect before we buy. Okay? And so we say that it's all about people, it's not about us. And I want us to go to a connection checklist. Okay? Connection checklist. Let's put down integrity. Amufere can connect, but you realize bwakukuba olumu, chances are ogenda mulalasa everywhere. So I know kunonyayo another avenue of okukakasa abanaddako. You get it? While because you're a genuine person, you are building on authenticity and integrity. Okay? So you don't want to lose your integrity while connecting. For example, you come and tell me a different story from who you are, I will find that it's a small world. I'll find another person who knows about you who will tell me, go slow with so and so. But you brought me very sparkling stories, and I'm already buying into your stories. That is why with Amufere, this is what happens. Kwomanyiro Amufere, they will not give you time to breathe. No, they will not. They will remind you, ajja kugamba ninayo ne kino, ate ajja kugamba ate koli gwe nyinza n'okusalirako, mala kugambe kakati obadde otuseewa. Kakati like they will be on your neck to make sure that they tie up that loose end and make sure that they nail you. Because when they give you time to breathe, ojja kulabuka. Okay? So what we do, that is why you can tell someone to feel free to do a background check. Why? Because you know your integrity. You're speaking the truth, and some of us, we know that men lie by over-exaggerating. Wanji? Bayagala okugamba nti musajja nnyo ayinza okulaga n'ebitali bibye. And do you know how we lie as women? That is why women are lacking behind in business. We lie by omitting. Last time I told you, if you're here and your wife, if your husband asks you, ebizigo byokozesa bya sente meka, chances are biba bya mitwalo 5 ojja mugamba bya mitwalo 5. How many of us agree to that? Like, we don't want to look extravagant. We don't want to look like we are wasting. We don't want to look like we are high maintenance. We don't want to look like we are... So we omit all the truths. Even when they tell you that... olugoye lw'oyambadde lwa sente meka, bwe luba lwakakadde ojja kugamba nti lwa mitwalo 2. Can you believe? Ojja tuleeterako ne story ogambe, can you believe nabadde mmanyi gundi yanconnectinze ku gundi, kale gundi nago. Some of you buy things and you have people bring them into your homes and then you call them gifts, and yet they are not gifts. It's your hard-earned money. But why? Every woman will lie by omitting. Twetonia in order to be accepted, because we think we cannot be too much. But my friend, I'm giving you permission to be too much for as long as you can sponsor it. Yes, hold that bag of $1,000. Kale tulabe oba waliwo agenda okufa. Bw'obanga ozisobola, see, don't go begging for $1,000 to buy a bag. Okay? So the omitting is because society has taught us that every woman, you can't say, naye bakubuuza kakati ofuna sente mmeka. Wanji? So many of the women here, their husbands don't know how much they earn. Because agamba bwe namugamba entuufu ajja kugamba nti ate muyitiriddeko. Ajja kulowooza oba saagalika, ajja kulowooza oba sigenda kubeera mukakamu, oba I'm not going to be submissive. Do you see that? And yet, for a man, they will tell you, do you want minus allowance or plus allowance, kat that company, wali nkola part-time, wali part-time now like 10 millions, especially ngakukwana ngatona bamumanya who they are. Kati wali, and some of them definitely will not tell you. You will just get to know later that, this is the right, but they over-exaggerate. Bwaba yaguze emotoka yaguze obukadde butaano ayinza okugamba nagiguze 15 because olina okumanya nti wakabi,
You don't get the life that you deserve, but that which you decide. It's time for you to decide to dominate your life. You don't do that by just having passion, you need a plan. Let's show you how you grow practically in character, competence, and in other areas of life. Welcome back to Bahati.
Number 2, expectations. Whether it's your client, everyone that is going to step into your life has expectations. And that is where we lose it even in relationships. Ask what people expect and tell them to be very truthful. What do you expect? Because someone will come into your life and they expect that you're going to be their mother, you're going to be their sister, you're going to be their everything, their birthday, they're going to be their prayer partner. Someone mentioned it here. You're going to be like everything. And that is where relationships are failing, because what used to be what the village provides, now one person has to provide. You have to be the best friend, you have to be, the confidant, you have to be everything. And it's not bad for some people, it's working out, but ask for the expectations. And then speak your expectations. Communicate your expectations. Because some of us go into the game of connecting and we don't want to speak about us, because then we're thinking, they're going to think I'm demanding. They're going to think, let me tell you, I have seen people that are insensitive getting big deals or big things because they communicated their expectations. We all have expectations, okay? But guess what? We have learned to dim our expectations because of what society is saying. You're never going to find a man that is faithful and then that expectation is killed. So you cannot demand for faithfulness. And guess what? When they cheat on you, notandiko okufesa. Lwaki ofesa? Because you didn't expect it. Wanji? So when we communicate our expectations with assertiveness, with politeness, and with respect, because no one is going to be a daydreamer to dream about what you want. That's why people even go to bed with, because there is no one that is below 18 here. You go to bed with someone, akwatako kongo vle, you want them to touch a different place. And then you're busy osiya. Kubanga bakugamba osiye. Wanji? Bakugamba shake, but you even don't know why you're shaking. And then some people, they shake like they are getting seizures. Because they've told them to shake. They are shaking like they are getting seizures. These things are not about pretense. These things are about knowing someone's expectations, knowing whether you can meet their expectations, and you honestly communicating your expectations so that they can measure whether they can meet your expectations or not. Let people learn to weed themselves out. If they are not for you, let them say, you know what? Hey. Let them not, by the way, oyayagala nze okumwetika mutwe gwange everywhere you go, sija chisobola katiawo, so that you can bargain. By the way, relationship is a negotiation. It's like a business deal. The day you will learn to handle a relationship as a business deal is the day you will win. Bijemu emotions. Because emotions expect people to understand what you have not communicated to them. It's like the Holy Spirit. Oh, Holy Spirit, tell him I want a man who is faithful. What? Don't give too much work to the Holy Spirit. Wanje? So communicate your expectations, but know your client's expectations. Because most of you here are business people, and even if you're just being employed, by the way, you're a business person. You are in transaction with your boss. Even when some of you don't negotiate your pay. And then bwe bakusasula ekyo kampani ya wano tesasula. Bwe bakubuuza oyagala mmeka gamba wange nzibuza kwogera. No. Mention your expectation and I will tell you the truth of what I can afford. And if you can't work for me, we hug and you go on your merry way looking for something else. Okay? So even for our clients, for those of you that are here and you're being trained in the transformers, never promise what you cannot fulfill. You know, when you come to me as a client, your life is going to be turned upside down, transformation all the way. If you cannot deliver transformation, do not dare promise anyone transformation. If you don't know what transformation looks like, do not even say the word transformation. You can only promise what you can deliver. That is integrity, that is being honest, and that is a brand that is bound to grow. The moment you fail with one person, that person represents more than 100 people behind them. So whoever will mention your name, they will say Totawana. She's still figuring herself out. You get it? So you can't wait for people to understand that now you're ready. Okay? So I want you to hit the ground ready to transact and make business. Number 3, relevance. You have to be relevant. Banaye mwali mulideko abantu abogera ebintu ebiri relevant. Tebikwatagana naye olinga ye ali serious kumbozi ye ayino jinyumi ate ayino jimalayo. Naye nga ali ku budde bwo. Your time is so precious. Now, just like your time is precious, that is why for the people that are in the mentorship, I usually tell you that it's not that the client is the boss, but the client actually knows what they want. They know what they want. So if you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. If you ask him, where do you want to be? Where are you and you? They will tell you, where I am, this is what's happening, but this is where I want to be. And then you will ask them, in order for you to get from point A to point B, what must you do? Let me tell you, the person that came before you knows what they must do. You think no one knows what to do in order to be successful? Wanji? They know. They know they have to work hard. You think people don't know what they must do in order to have a good spiritual life? They know they must pray. They know they must go for fellowship. They know they must do. They know them. Why aren't they doing them? That is why you are there as a coach. To motivate, to inspire, and to hold their hand. They need someone to remind them, to be an accountability partner, that you said you will do this. Keep your word. Okay? So you must be relevant. In this generation, if you're not relevant, you can't earn, number one. Even if I employ you and you're not relevant, why should I retain you? I want someone that is relevant. Okay? Even in marriage, if you're not relevant, you're going to be kicked out. And when you lose your relevance, that is when things start going bad. The moment you can stay relevant in your own life, in your own home, in your own marriage, in your own relationship, believe me, it will be actually convicting them. Okay? Why? Because you are in the right path, you're doing the right thing, you're minding your own business, you have things to do, you are relevant. A person who has no relevance, they will peep at everyone. Have you seen people at offices, when they get to office, they enter every office, they have to greet everyone, they have to do small talk, they have to talk about weather and the economy, and then by the time they go to their desk, it's lunchtime, and then they have to go for lunch, and then when they go for lunch, then they come back and it's time to lift their bag and go home. Okay? But if you're relevant, you will know when to redeem your time. When someone comes and they have irrelevant information, you will tell them, you know what, I will call you when maybe after this meeting. And guess what? Maybe you don't mean it. After that meeting, you will chill and do other things. Why? Because you don't want anyone that is irrelevant in you. So relevance goes with value. Okay? So your checklist for connection: integrity, expectations, relevance, and value. Those are must-haves. in any time when you are in a relationship, whether it's a business relationship, whether it's you're relating with Bahati, ask yourself, is my integrity intact? Have I communicated my expectations? And am I relevant? Do I add value? Okay? Are we able to ask those things honestly? Sorry? Some of us are going to take them and we are not going to be very honest. So I want you to review that list, and with your neighbor, I want you to review the checklist and discuss an area that you want to improve amongst those 4. Just discuss with your neighbor, your immediate neighbor.
Thank you. My neighbor is Doris. She wants to work on value because she wants to be adding value to other people. So according to her, she has to add value to herself so that she can pour out from a full cup.
Awesome. Awesome. You can't give what you don't have. Okay? So you have to cultivate the value, and then the value is also determined by who you are going to give it to. Right? So if I step into your life, I have to be able to quickly calculate what I can bring to you. Before I even ask for anything, I have to be able to ask. That's why networking, introducing yourself, what you do, and where you do it from, because you will find that the value I'm adding to you is I'm connecting you to a venue that you can actually do your business better. Or I'm connecting you to a person that imports something. You get it? So that means I have to know you. That means connection is not shallow. It cannot be shallow. Connection has to be deep, and it has to be intentional, like we said, okay? And it goes beyond words. These things of, I have so many connections. I'm connected to government people. And then, all of a sudden, someone says, Kakati, you said you have connections. Wait, I'll give you. And it never comes through. Those are empty words. Remember, we said connection has to go beyond words. It has to go into actions. And this is something that I have learned so much when it comes to Tim. When he promises something, he will even make a call immediately and say, you know what, there is someone I want you to meet. This person is going to be so helpful in whatever you're doing, and I think you both will gain from this. And then he will make a call. He'll be like, by the way, there is a lady I would really, really love you to meet. I'm meeting her right now. She's so-and-so and she's so-and-so. Please schedule a meeting. How is your Friday? You realize he has already connected these 2 people. And now he's out of the equation. It's beyond words. It has now gone to actions. Okay? So if this person was even thinking about giving a business deal, then he's thinking, this person is selfless. Remember, we said connection is not selfish. It is selfless. You don't have to think about yourself. You think about the other. Remember, what we want to talk about is how do you manipulate people so that they can get into their pockets, get money, and give it to you. Because whatever you're going to do, whatever business you're going to do, whether it's coaching, whether you're not going to rob people, they're going to give you the money willingly. But how are they going to give it to you? Through connection. No one should trigger you to be who you are not. Right? So you should have a sound footing when it comes to reasoning and reaction. And actually, it's not supposed to be reaction, it's supposed to be a response. A well thought through response. A reaction is something you do with reflex, without even thinking. So the moment you do that, you're losing out on your integrity. You're losing out on the value and relevance that you're giving, because in that moment you are emotional, you're not logical. Okay? So that means you should have a sound footing when it comes to your integrity. And guess what? These are words that I found of recent that were so powerful that we usually minimize. And these words are I can't or I don't. When you say I don't in a certain situation, that means you have set your precedence of what you can and what you can't do. It's you in control. No one is controlling you. When you say, I can't, you know, when someone asks Ariella, it's like, can you change the channel for me? It's like, no, I can't. It's because mommy said you do not touch the remote and change the channel. Not for any reason. You get it? So there is a string, someone else that is putting a string. That's why you say, I can't. So that means whenever you say I can't, it feels, even when you're doing your goals and you're doing your habits to achieve those goals, when you say I can't eat at this time, it's because you're like, either or someone is in control, you know, or so I'm not doing this because someone is dictating it. But if you say, I don't usually have lunch, it feels like you're in control. So it's actually easier for you to cultivate that habit because you feel, I set the habit and I won't go back on my word. I don't do this. Just like you say, our family, no, we don't do that. It's below the line. So you have set the line for yourself, okay? I know some of these things are not sweet, yeah? When we talk about relationships and we jubilate and do what, some of these things are not sweet, but guess what? If you want to be a powerful person, you have to consume this hard information in order for you to grow and become the person that you want to be. Okay? We can say, muveko, mute, you know, love yourself, do what? Those are short-lived. Connection is the foundation of everything, whether it's a marriage or relationship that you're going to have in life. And we are completing this. Let's end this. I know that we can talk about a lot of things, but I love the fact that she told us what she wants to improve. Do you see what honesty does? You self-dissect, you do a surgery on yourself, and say, that means, even if it's a person that abadana kugasa bwaja with a bad approach because of where they come from. Some people bakowu baina je babatawanyiza, you know, they've come with a bad approach. You can't cool them down. You can't, you know, take them back to actually important. Why? Because wompankuwa wanji, I have an automatic trigger. You spark me off, I spark. You go back in your own. Now that does not work, and it does not help at all, not even in marriage. That's why I said be in control, like so much that even when someone does something, you can say, you know what, I'll think about it tomorrow. We will talk about it tomorrow. Like you're not in a rush. Togenda kufa chiro cha leero. Wanji? Those things of women waking up men at 3. We have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. What can't wait? Wanji? At 3 a.m. someone is enjoying their sleep. Tata gundi. Ay. Zuka tuchogereko. You know? Toyagala kubyogerako buli kimu kireka pending. I want us to, let's close up on that because we are not going to finish that. But connecting principle, we talked about going beyond words, okay? And then we said that you have a greater chance of influencing and helping people. Let's talk about the group dynamics. One-on-one dynamics. Last time we talked about group. I don't know if any of you remembers, but we are ending with this. Number 1, you connect visually by giving other people complete attention. If you're not going to give someone complete attention, be vague when you're connecting. As in, just pull out, come back another day when you're willing to connect. Okay? Whether it's an engagement, you go to a boardroom, and let me tell you, there has never been a time that is so volatile and so, I will say foolishly positioned as this when it comes to being busy doing nothing. Because we will have notifications, let me tell you. A TikTok notification can come when you're in a boardroom, when you are paying attention to something, and it will take you off. And then an email comes through, and then a WhatsApp comes through, and then there are people who call and they don't have discipline. You call someone once and they are not picking, Wanji, you give them time. When you call twice and they are not picking, leave them alone. Has someone ever called you 17 times? No, people have control of their phones, guys. We can't be selfish, okay? But you have to be very, very deliberate. When you connect, make sure that you disconnect from anything else and make sure that your complete attention is with this person, with this client, with these people that you're dealing with. Whoever is before you is important enough and very vital. Okay? So give them your complete. My friend, put down everything and show me that I am the most important person that has ever walked into your shop. And even if I don't buy, okay? Chances are next time I will want to come back and buy. Or I will direct someone to come and buy. Okay? So, number 2, connect intellectually by asking questions. Have you ever talked to someone and they look so aloof, like they are not following? And then you ask them, have you understood? They nod their head. They have understood. And then when you want to take them to test them, whether they got a particular concept, they're like shallow, babisa kungulu, because they were not listening at all. So when someone says something, for example, for the coaches, for people who are training to be coaches and counselors and writers and speakers, this actually applies more in your life, even to every one of us. Someone comes and they're telling you about their issues. Their issues are so important to them. By the time they paid and they appeared before you, those issues are so important to them. Now, this business of saying a relationship issue, and then you start preoccupying yourself with other things. You're not listening, okay? So you cannot probe them so well. You cannot ask them, because when you take me back and forth, and this is what I usually tell, and up to now some people are amazed. I tell them, even if you come back to me 20 years from now, and you ask me where we stopped, I will tell you where we placed a full stop. I've had clients come back to me after 10 years. And they come back to me and they're like, Kakati, when they call me, number one, when they call me, they want to introduce themselves. But this is what, when I pick a call, I say, hi, Regina, how are you? It's been too long. But too long, it has been 10 years. And then they're like, you still have my number? They're like, I'm like, yes, I have your number. And then if they're like, Kakati toja kuntegera, I would have booked a phone session, but maybe we need to sit face to face. And I'm like, Regina, I remember, and I will ask one question. I will either ask about the husband or about the child or something connected to what we talked about. Like, you still remember my story? And because chances are, they're going to come back and story after 10 years. For those of you that are going to be practicing coaching and counseling, you're going to see these things. They're going to pick up from where kakati munanga I won't know it wakoma. But when you become a coach or a counselor, ofukango lugambo. Like, seriously. And you have to be interested in the lugambo that is being told to you. Okay? Because that's the only way you're going to commit it to memory. So, they'll be like, kakati munange wetwa malecho no kankunyumizi ebyaddako. Natandika. Kakati, you keep taking them back and forth where they are. So it's like a movie. You're rewinding and fast forward where we are. So kakati, wano ongambi ono yakoze kino. Kakati, Stella, I remember Stella. Stella omujukira banange. Gwe njo okunyumizanga. Kakati munange Stella ulama. Nakola. But that person, after that call or that, they will send other 20 people. Omukazi oli nze yanneewunyisizza gundi newankubadde tolina kizibu genda omulabe. There are people who have sent people to my place. Newankubadde tolina kizibu genda munyumyeko bunyumya. Like genda munyumyeko bunyumya. You have connected with this person. They feel valued. They feel understood. They feel important. So make everyone that comes before you important. Okay? Because they are. Just like you want to be important, they are important. So connect with them intellectually by asking questions. Okay? And number last, connect emotionally through whatever it is, touch. It can be a pat on the shoulder. Have you ever told someone, and this has worked for me, it comes naturally to me if I care about people. Remember the first qualification I told you, for those of you that are signing up for the mentorship, I told you, whether you have a PhD, whether you have the number one qualification for you to get into the mentorship is your care about people. You caring about people. The desire to help people. Okay? So when you desire to help another, chances are when they're going through a turmoil, when they're going through a very bad situation, you'll find yourself tapping them on their shoulder and telling them, things will be okay. You will hold their hands and make a prayer. Okay? There is one way or another, touch is so important to connecting. Okay? Even when you're from a networking place. I am so serious about this, and I take time to explain these things because I know they are foundational. Okay? Even when you're from, some of you are touch people when it comes to relationships. Even when you're from a wedding and maybe you met a new friend, you realize when you're saying bye to them, you tap them on the shoulder, I'm leaving. And just to show that we connected and I respect that connection, so I'm able to tell you that I am actually moving out of this building. So touch is so important, okay? You connect emotionally. The only way you can connect emotionally with people, the words that you speak and how you touch them, okay? How you physically touch them. Definitely some people have boundaries. I want you to also be very careful about that. If you're a male counselor or a male coach like Maurice, when a lady comes to you, they will know a bad touch and they will know a good touch. Yes, I have heard about male counselors where someone goes and he makes a weird touch. And the woman is like, now I don't know whether to interpret it as a bad touch or don't give people confusing signals. Who is going to think to abado olooza bibi ng'okutte ku kibegabega? Wanje? Ntikwata wa? Some of you are nasty. So nasty. But I think that is where we will stop about connection. But I want us to be very intentional when it comes to connecting. You realize the things that we have talked about, you can do them with a client. You can do them with the person who has walked into your shop to come and buy. Whether you're a marketeer and you want to nail a deal, you can actually learn to connect and you will have good connections. And when you have good connections, that is money in your pocket. Those are referrals, okay? And guess what? Your children will never lack. Wanji? When you connect well, you know some of these things we say, oh, a blessing trickles to the next generation. What is a blessing? What is a blessing? Wanji? Does it have a figure? Is it tangible? The biggest blessings God has placed in our lives are connections with people. The biggest blessings. So if you're the kind who says, nze saagala abantu ogenda genda mu zoo. That is why it's so important to cultivate your confidence, because if you find that you lack in the area of confidence, you're like, kati wenagenda ate maybe wenyambade ate kakati weraliikirira bingi, because what kills our confidence is how we perceive ourselves. So you perceive yourself as less of, and so when you go, that is why you feel like you're a grasshopper. Okay? You're not a grasshopper, you're a very important person. Very important person. So carry yourself as a very important person and then treat everyone like they are the most important people. Whoever appears before you, treat them like they're the most important people. And you will make a mark in this world. Okay? And you'll be very successful, but you will go beyond success and go into significance.
Spirit TV, a place for you.